What's up, guys? So today I'm taking a close look at the Resident Evil 7 demo Beginning Hour, which made its debut on the PC just earlier this week. Up until now, the free-to-play half-an-hour-ish thrill ride has only been playable on PS4 and more recently Xbox One, so being a fan of the franchise myself, I was pretty pumped to be given a taste of the reimagined nightmare, and to see how Capcom's new RE engine responds to a variety of modern video cards in a Windows 10 desktop environment. With the full game's arrival just a month away, today's test should give us a pretty good idea of what kind of gaming performance we can expect on our machines. Without even looking at the benchmarks though, the game is already shaping up to be a promising release for PC, judging from the healthy number of graphical settings in the demo, including VSync, uncapped frame rate, ambient occlusion, chromatic aberration, and much more. To push the limits of our GPUs, and because it makes the game look horrifically beautiful, maximum quality settings and all the eye candy effects were enabled for these runs. A combination of FXAA and TAA was used to process anti-aliasing, and SSAO was the technique of choice for ambient occlusion. The 4 cards in our lineup are reference models running at reference speeds, and they include the AMD RX 480 8GB version, NVIDIA's GeForce GTX 1060 6GB model, the GTX 1070, and the GTX 1080. Clean installs of the latest Crimson Relib driver version 16.12.1 and Wickle driver 376.33 were conducted pre-benchmarking as well. As for the rest of our testing hardware, my Haswell E testbed is still fitted with the same Asus Strix Gaming X99 motherboard and 32GB kit of G.Skill Trident Z DDR4, but the 10-core 6950X that once resided in its now betrayed socket has since moved into Hotline, leaving us with a worthless 8-core 5960X. Just kidding, this is still a stupid powerful CPU, and it's been overclocked to 4500 MHz with the help of a Corsair H100i GTX V2. Now I decided to run each of these cards in 3 common 16:9 resolutions, including 1920x1080, 2560x1440, and 3840x2160, aka 4K. At least for the demo, the game does not currently support ultrawide, but hopefully that comes with the full release, as this is exactly the kind of eerie atmosphere that thrill seekers want wrapped around their retinas. Like most demos, there's no built-in benchmark here, so I kept my testing methodology super simple to avoid much variable interference. Starting the frame rate recorder once the opening title fades away, I navigate to the back door at the other end of the house, turn around, and simply walk back to where I started. Again, I kept this super simple so you guys could try this yourselves at home on your own machines and compare your results to the ones you're about to see. With the settings we're using, there's some really great shadows and lighting afoot in this short little run, especially in the kitchen, though I wouldn't trust anything in the fridge. On a side note, the photorealistic renderings of the RE engine also look fantastic. Texture detail and lifelike faces really bring a heightened sense of reality when combined with the first-person perspective, all of which breathe new life into the franchise. As far as bugs are concerned, the only ones I found were the roaches in this pot. Hopefully a good sign that points to a smooth day one launch on PC. On that note, let's see if our test subjects here managed to perform better under pressure than I did, which I suppose isn't saying much. So apparently, the RE engine has allowed this game to be very scalable and well optimized for these cards. It also finds a way to bring forth a ton of on-screen detail without sacrificing much performance. With our mid-range GPUs yielding averages well above 100 FPS at 1080p, the likelihood of budget gamers being able to jump in on the bone-chilling action with a GTX 1050 Ti or something like an RX 470 seems very high. 4K gamers can rejoice too, as the GTX 1080 averages 63 FPS, which is a very playable frame rate at Ultra HD. I personally don't mind this game at 60Hz because it gravitates towards a slower and more calculated style of gameplay as opposed to its last couple predecessors, at least from what I've gathered in the demo. By the way, here's an overall look at the scores you just saw. Unsurprisingly, the GTX 1070 and 1080 are in a league of their own. But did you guys notice how the RX 480 edges out the GTX 1060 on every run? AMD's been hard at work on their new reel of drivers, and it appears to be paying off beautifully. The RX 480's larger frame buffer also gives it a big leg up here, as the demo turned out to be quite the VRAM monster, eating up all 6 gigs of the GTX 1060 at 1080p. The takeaway here is if you have a GPU with less than 6 gigs, be prepared to dial down your graphical settings to keep frame rates in check. Apart from demanding lots of memory, the RE7 demo ran like butter on every card I tested, and was delightful to play through as it was disturbing. Sensible key bindings, no glitches, and graphical settings galore really allowed me to soak up the game's atmosphere to its fullest without any distractions, leaving me anxious to continue my nail-biting, boot-shaking, butt-clenching exploration come January, assuming I don't chicken out. But that's gonna do it for now, guys. Before you go, let me know in the comments if you're excited for this new direction the franchise is headed, and what you thought of the PC demo, assuming you've had a chance to try it out. Also, let me know what you thought of the content for today's video. If you're not into the Resident Evil saga at all, did you still find it interesting, or did I just waste precious minutes of your life that you'll never get back? Either way, let me know if you'd like to see more of these ready for PC types of videos where I test out up-and-coming PC games. Your feedback is always appreciated. As always, thank you guys for watching, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all in the next video.